what is an uncontested divorce? Well, sometimes you'll hear uncontested divorce is being referred to as a 1A. That's simply the statute under which allows an uncontested divorce. In an uncontested divorce, all the issues are already decided between yourself and your partner, your future ex, as to what the outcome will be. In order to get an uncontested divorce, you have to file a filing fee, which is $215. That's filed with the probate and family court. In addition to that, you must file a joint petition for divorce. This is different from a contested divorce called a 1B, because in a contested divorce, one person files the paperwork and has that served on the other party by a sheriff or a constable. In an uncontested divorce situation, the petition is filed jointly. So you and your ex together file that petition that gets the progress started. In addition to that, you'll have to file a certified marriage certificate. You'll have to file financial statements for both yourself and your partner. That financial statement goes into a great deal of detail about what your earnings are per month, what your expenses are, things such as food, rent, car loans, things along those lines. It's very comprehensive. So that has to be filed. There has to be filed an affidavit of an irretrievable breakdown of the marriage. Basically, you're just saying that the marriage is no longer viable. You can't get along with the person, and you both want to just end it and move on with your lives. You'll also have to file what they call a record of absolute divorce. That's something that gets filed with the court and gets forwarded to, for statistical purposes, to a certain government agency. You have to file a separation agreement. Now, this is probably the most important part of the filing requirements that you have. The separation agreement goes into detail as far as how everything is going to be worked out. So if there's going to be any alimony that has to be addressed, if there are children involved, child support, child custody will be an issue. All of your debts will be divided. All of your assets will be divided. Everything has to be contained within that separation agreement. As I say, that's really the heart of the divorce itself. If you have children with your spouse or with your partner, a child support worksheet needs to be filled out as well as an affidavit disclosing care and custody. I know that's kind of a fancy title. Basically, you're just trying to tell the court if there are any other matters involving the children that are filed anywhere else in that court or a different court. So if there's anything as far as DCYF is involved in anything, that has to be disclosed. If anyone is trying to gain guardianship or over the children, that has to be disclosed as well. The court wants to know if there is anything else involving the children. You'll also have to attend a parent education program. And upon completion of that parent education program, you'll have to supply a certificate of attendance. That doesn't have to be filed with the divorce, with the original divorce documents. That's something that would come later. So after you have all that filed and you pay that fee, then the court will give you a hearing date. On that hearing date, you and your ex have to show up unless you're excused by the court, which sometimes can happen under certain circumstances if one of you is out of state and can't make it back and is available by phone. But you have to have permission of the court for that to happen. At the hearing, the judge is going to take a look at your separation agreement. The judge will probably ask you and your partner questions. They're just basically looking to make sure that you understand that this would reflect your final agreement with that person and that you want this to go forward. The judge will be looking to make sure that the separation agreement basically seems fair, that no one's exerted any undue influence on the other person to get a more favorable outcome. Basically, everything is equitable, and that you understand that once this goes into effect, it will be difficult, if not impossible, to change the conditions that you're agreeing to. So 30 days after your hearing, unless there's any issues with the hearing and the judge wants you back, typically it gets handled in one hearing. 30 days after the hearing, a divorce nisi is entered. The divorce nisi is basically from that period on, you're still not officially divorced, but an order is entered. That divorce nisi order is entered. 90 days from that date, the divorce is final, unless something comes up. So that it's a waiting period, basically. And the purpose of the waiting period is that in case you or your partner change your mind, or if you find out that the other person perhaps has been hiding assets or something along those lines prior to the final judgment being entered, you can bring any issues back before the court before the final order is entered. You don't have to do anything during that period of time as long as there are no issues, and the divorce will enter automatically after that 90-day period. So that is, in essence, that's what an uncontested divorce is all about in Massachusetts. Again, this is only if all of the issues are agreed upon between you and the other person. If you have almost all of them except for one, say alimony is not agreed to, it cannot go forward on the uncontested track. It has to be bumped over to the contested track, the 1B track. The advantages of an uncontested divorce is it's quicker and it's usually much less expensive. The downside is you do have to agree on each and every element of the case before the court. So again, even if there's one issue that has to be litigated, it has to get bumped over. That's probably going to take more time. It definitely will take more time, and probably will take more money because more energy has to be put into that. There could be additional discovery that's needed through interrogatories, which are a series of written questions, or depositions, which are recorded statements under oath. It's sort of a mini trial, a deposition. We'll get into that in another live stream episode. So essentially, that's what an uncontested divorce is in Massachusetts.